Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? So I'm going to make this as quick as I can, and I'm feeling a bit tired today. I think because I've been following obviously all the matches, and I think because the TV's been on for I don't usually have the TV on for the whole of the day from morning till in fact I normally don't put it on till the afternoon. It just feels like a lot of screen time, which I don't mind because obviously it's a tournament, Wimbledon tournament. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, I've got a new game plan for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I've decided, I've seen who's playing. I'm only going to watch or focus on two matches, and it's Emma Raducanu and Coco Gauff, and they're both playing in the afternoon. So the plan is, I've got appointments anyway in the day. I'm also going to go out, just get out of the house for a little bit. And then I'm just going to focus on those two matches. So that's just letting you know in advance. So today, really, I didn't watch that many games. Do you know what it is? It's because they were really long. So the games I did watch were like 2-3 hours long. So it just felt like I've watched a lot. So the first game that I tuned into this morning at 11:30 was here we go again. Kasatkina versus Miyazaki. So Miyazaki is the British player, and Kasatkina, she's not assigned, but I think she's from Russia, and I think it's one of them things where they decided, obviously with the Russian players, that they couldn't play under Russia because of what was going on in Ukraine. So she's just got no name next to her, country next to her. So it was literally, it lasted 50 minutes. It's probably, I don't know if they're going to be putting records out there at some point as the shortest game. It was 6-love, 5-love, and it was 50 minutes. I don't think I've watched a tennis match, not at Wimbledon, not in this fourth day, being that quick. But literally it was over, blink and you'd miss it. I was looking up, and then I was thinking, oh, this game's still going on. Turned around and they said it's over with. Now, no shade to the other player, because obviously she's there for a reason, but it just didn't feel like it was like a Wimbledon game because it was over so quick, and because there was just nothing to it. Kasatkina had full control of that game. So then the next game was Madison Keys versus, I don't know her first name, but Wang is her surname, from China. She's playing again tomorrow, Madison Keys. So this game lasted 1 hour, 17 minutes. I watched most of it. In fact, did I watch all of it? I think I watched all of it, yeah. It was, it was a good game. I'm not going to say it was like the most memorable game that I've ever watched. Madison Keys is a strong player. She's powerful. I like watching her play tennis, so I'll put it that way. Certain, tennis players, I just like the way they play tennis. I don't know what's happened with my voice either. I've not been shouting or anything, but my voice seems like it's going. She seems like she's a powerful player. She's been playing for a while. She's got everyone knows her. She's enjoyable to watch. So yeah, that was that game. So after those two games were over, then I started watching her catch. I'm gonna just guess the Polish male player versus I'm not good, am I? Is it Phils or Phil? Yeah, the French player, the 20-year-old French player who came on the scene. I think it's Phils. I don't think you'd pronounce it like that, so it might be like Fees. That was really good. I was really getting into that game. There was lots of twists and turns. I took a few statistics down. 126 mile per hour serve, which was one of the fastest serves they said they've seen so far. But then he just kept falling over, like her catch. He fell 3 times when I was watching it, and then it switched over to the other. I watched another game, and then when I came back, he'd fallen, I think, 5 times. And when he fell the 5th time, when he slipped, he injured himself. So then at the end, it said that he retired. So he was the 7th seed. So he was the favourite to win in that game. The young French guy, I don't think he's played before at Wimbledon, but he played really well. But yeah, when I saw the guy it's not funny, but when I saw him he wasn't doing it on purpose. Well, actually, they said one of them where he seemed to fall, and then he just seemed to dive, roll over, and then hit the ground with his racket. So he's probably going to get fined for that as well. But it was just one of them games where you could see they were both trying their best, but the player, it's nothing to do with him being young, he just was better. He was a better player, so that's it. So then the two big games, obviously the main ones today were the Britain versus Britain. So you had the female Katie Boulter, who's the British number 1, versus Harriet Dart, who I think she's number 2. So you had a good match, and the same as with the match I've just watched, Cam Norrie, he's I don't even think he's number 2, he might be, and then Jack Draper, who's number 1. Now it's interesting because I've been on Instagram and I follow lots of these, not just these, I follow lots of the American tennis stars. I've been following them for years, not all of them, but obviously Jack Draper has been hyped up. He is a model. I've seen some of his pics on Instagram. I'm not following him, not on purpose, but I'm not sure. I'm following a few others. So he's got all these he's getting all these contracts and things. It reminds me of Maria Sharapova years ago, because she was tall, she was blonde. Everyone was like giving her all the advertisements. So rich, she was getting more props and more hyped up than like Serena Williams and Venus. But then on the court, she wasn't delivering. So Jack, he did try. I mean, yeah, let's talk about that one before I talk about Harriet and the other one. So Cam Norrie and Jack Draper, that was the last one I've just watched. I think the problem there is that, like, obviously they were saying that because Cam Norrie hasn't been given as much press and he hasn't been hyped up as much, he was angry about that, so he went out there to win. But I don't even think it was that. He was just the better player. It was just, I was watching it and I was thinking, I can see where this is going already. And after someone is up by 2 sets, it's just a battle to try and get back from that. And Jack did try his best then to try and get back, but he was too late. Then it was the tiebreaker, and then he lost the tiebreaker, and then finally there was another, no, that was it, because there's 3, and he lost all 3. Now, what was interesting was he was trying, I mean, Jack, to be fair to him, he did have some really good moves. He did have some really good shots, but it wasn't making any difference. He was just outplayed. And some of the shots I've seen, I mean, I just said, like, I was trying to do some work. I've not got as much work done today at all because of these 2 matches, but I just put down that it was some of the best shots I've ever seen, some of the best passing shots, some of the best returns. They were like, in a normal game, if Jack Draper had done what he did with another player, he would have won most of those shots. But because he was playing against Cam Norrie, then he was losing them. So it was just things which you were thinking, how's he managed to hit that? And he was making him run all over the field. He was making him run from left to right. He was just playing with him. It was really entertaining to watch. And that's it, yeah, he won. So I'm just going to finish up because I don't want to go on too long like I always do. So obviously the match that everyone was looking forward to, the match that everyone was interested in, was Harriet Dart versus Katie Boulter. So all I've put really is that the theme of today has really been errors. Now yesterday with Emma Raducanu, the way that she won and the way that she came out confident as someone who's come in as a wild card, she just owned that match. She didn't make much mistakes. Katie Boulter and Harriet Dart, I've never seen so many errors in a game, especially when she's like the British number 1. She shouldn't have been making that much errors. That was what lost her the game because there was just too many. You can't get away with that many mistakes. They were both struggling at the beginning. It was a bit boring. Even the commentators were saying they're not playing their best. And then I think in the second half of like this whole match, it dialed up a little bit. But you just kept holding your breath because they kept making errors and it was going one way to the other. And then when Harriet Dart started crying, because I wanted her to win, I prefer her as a player, I just prefer her style. She started crying and she was like really like beating herself up. She'd given up and I thought, oh no, she's going to lose. But then she just found something and then she ended up winning. And I got chills at the end because I just thought, if she was reminding me of Venus Williams, because Venus Williams is quite emotional. She used to be when she played. And if she'd messed up, she'd cry or she'd get emotional, but then she'd come back and then she'd get herself together. And yeah, it was just, I mean, Harriet is like a classy player. Katie Boulter, you'd class her as like an elegant, classy player, but she just keeps missing the shots. She's too soft, too gentle. Whereas Harriet is like a hound. She's the sort of person, even though they're both posh, you can imagine that Harriet is someone that plays dirty. She's got that like determination, so she won in the end. And yeah, I'd say that was my favourite match today, only because it wasn't the most interesting, but it was because of like it had everything in there. I had no idea who was going to win. It wasn't predictable. Yeah, it was just, I mean, and I think Katie Bolter in her interview at the end was interesting because she wasn't taking accountability for the amount of errors she made. She said, I didn't do anything wrong in this match. I don't know why I lost. I think my game is good. And I just thought, I get where you're coming from, because the commentator said, oh, that's very positive. But if you've lost at your number one and the other person's number two, you were up, I think I wrote down, on one set, she was up by 4 games. So think about it, if you're up by 4 games and you only need like 2 more to win that set and you lose, and then if in a tie break, she was up by 4, yeah, sorry, that was in the tie break, I think. There were so many opportunities where she could have tied it up and won. So at the end, really, what she didn't give any credit to Harriet, and you can tell they've got that competitiveness. But she also was being a bit like, there's nothing I need to change. There's nothing I did wrong. And I think it's not about beating yourself up, but you have to say you did make a lot of errors. Even the commentators were saying it. So yeah, tomorrow I think I'll just, Emma Raducanu and Coco, I think I'll just watch their games and commentate on them. There's probably other matches that are going to be going on. I missed Ons Jabeur, she's one of my favourites, but they didn't show her match obviously because there was other things going on. I'm thinking, I know that Andy Murray's going to be playing doubles. I don't really watch doubles games, I don't find them interesting. I may tune into like Andy Murray because he's one of my favourite players, but I'll see. I think I've seen enough tennis today. It's been about 7 hours of tennis in total. So yeah, that's my roundup. It's a bit long, but hope you're enjoying these roundups, and thank you to everyone that is continuing to subscribe to my channels, continuing to follow me on TikTok and on Instagram. Really appreciate it. So thanks for watching. Bye.